Hello, everybody, and happy Friday to you. I hope you're doing well, and it's nice to be together again to do some drawing. So let's jump into it. First, I want to say, how are you? Are you doing okay? Hope so. Remember, we can hang out and chat a little bit together. There should be some friends you'll find in here willing to just talk about whatever while I'm drawing. Sometimes you just want to type and chat with each other. Don't have to draw at all. But we do have a You Draw It, of course, as always, where I draw something and you follow along. And that's going to be fun. We'll have a Who Made That, where we try and figure out which artist made just a sliver of an image, and then we'll reveal the whole thing and talk about that artist. And then we'll close with an animal and activity, which is always really fun, where you tell me an animal doing something weird or crazy, and then I get to draw it in a very short amount of time. How very exciting that is. I love making art. This has been my primary not just hobby, but it's been my career, really. It's been the thing that has kept me going since I was a tiny little kid. My wife is worried that I'm addicted to making art, but I always tell her, you know what, honey, I know where to draw the line. All right, well, I think it's time for us to do a little bit of drawing. So why don't we jump over here, and I'm ready to go. You need a pencil, a pen, a marker, a stick, a crayon, it doesn't matter, okay? Grab yourself a piece of paper, and we're going to follow along step by step. I'll draw different kinds of lines. They're very simple for you to draw. We do a straight line like that. Sometimes we do a zigzag. All right, or maybe just one zig or one zag. And we also do nice. Oh, that's the wrong sound. Sorry. Woohoo, there it is. Curvilinear lines. Sometimes I call them C curves when they just look like that, or 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 like that. Okay, C curves. You get the picture. All right. Hi, everybody. I see John. I see Miguel. I see Laura. I see Sam and Eric and Steven. Nice to see you all. All right. Let's get this show on the road. Very first line we're going to draw is a simple one, and it goes like this. Bam! Straight across. Boy, are these simple, aren't they? Straight line here, a little curved line there, and then like magic, you have a finished drawing. All right. Now, watch carefully. I'm going to look at how long that line is, okay? And I'm going to say I'm going to draw a line that's about the same length, slightly longer, but it's going to have a little curve to it. So watch this. I'm going to come down this way, curve, and then come down. All right? So yeah, that's a little longer than that first line I drew. A little bit of a curve and then straight on down. Okay? Same thing on the other side. Curve and then straight on down, like that. All right? A lot of times we bounce back and forth and we do something on one side that we did on the other. All right, now next little step is a V. Watch this. It's going to be a shallow one, okay? Here we go. V, like so. All right, see how those lines intersect right there in about the middle of this shape we just drew. Everybody with me so far? Okay, now watch this. I'm going to start about here, which is about halfway up that line. I'm going to do a little line like this. Stop for a moment. Do the same thing on this side, okay? And then I'm going to connect them like that. Just connect them. Now I'm going to travel up, and I'm going to travel up to about here. All right, I'm going to leave some space up here, but I'm going to travel up to about here. Watch this. I'm going to come up. Do the same thing on this side. And then I'm going to connect them with a very shallow C curve. C curve. Ta-da! Okay. All right. This one's going to be a nice big C curve. It's going to start right here. We're going to go up and out to about there. If you need to make yourself a little dot, something to aim for, go for it, right? It's always a helpful thing. C curve up and out and stop. Same on the other side. C curve up and out and stop. Okay. Now, right about here, I'm going to come up from this corner and make a little mark for myself so I know where I'm going, okay? And between here and here, watch what I do. I'm going to draw just little lines like that, okay? Same thing here. I'm going to come over there. There's my line. I'm going to go bup, 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 bup. Alrighty? And then I'm going to draw a line up and over. So here we go, up and over. And then on the other side, up and over. Symmetry. All right, now, in this little space right here, this little shape we drew, watch this. little diagonal line like this. Other side, little diagonal line down like that. Once again, symmetrical. And we're going to do it again. Here comes some more symmetry. So I'm going to look at the space I have between here and here, go about halfway, and say, circle. Come over this way, do the same thing. Just like that. Just color that in. And what do you know? Just like that, we have a koala bear head. Wasn't that simple? It's so cool to be able to draw these things. You know, they're simple shapes, easy steps, and then suddenly, bam, you've got something cute. Now, this line that I drew originally, I'm going to carry it out a little farther. See this? Now look how far it went. Down to, if I were to line it up, it stops right where that left side of the head ends, okay? Now I'm going to carry it out that way. Not too far, right? I didn't go past the ear, just about the same distance there. And now here's a fascinating thing about koalas. Koalas have 2 thumbs on each hand. I just learned this today. I looked these animals up so I can learn a little something about how to draw them, of course. I'm not just making this stuff up, right? And try to distill them down into these simple shapes for y'all. So I'm going to go up like that, make another line right next to it, and then make another line next to it that goes longer, okay? So we have long, short, long. Now I'm going to separate from there and go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And here comes a really big curve. This is a big one. So in order to make this curve work, I can either draw it all in one pass, or I can give myself something to aim for halfway. I think that's always helpful. So I'm going to look at where the elbow bends here. There's a bend. Come down a little bit, and right about there I want to make a little mark. See, there's plenty of space. And then I'm going to curve into that, and then I'm going to curve out of that, like so. Okay. Okie dokie. So far, so good, right? Now we have this line on the right side of the head. I'm going to carry that way just a bit further down, and then I'm going to pop it out for another big C curve. Okay, now before I do that C curve, I need to do some other measurement and get some other things on the page that'll help me to get it in the right place. And so to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the tree that this koala is hanging onto. Now watch this. See all this space I have between the ear and the hand there? So right next to the hand, I'm just going to draw a line. And I'm going to come over this way. And then I'm going to interrupt it with another line. Come over this way again. Come down. And then lower than this horizontal line. See this? I'm going to come over here. Okay. And then down like so. And then out. And then down some more. Slightly different angle or same. Does not matter. Now, behind, right here, okay, I'm going to pretend that this tree got a little wider, and I'm going to draw a line like this. So this koala is basically on top of a branch that has either broken off and fallen, maybe it's been chewed off by another animal, who knows, but we have the top of a branch there, all right? And now I'm going to do a couple lines like this for texture. So that is the top of our tree branch. Now the arm in the back, all I have to do is this. I'm going to draw a line down and just stop right there. Okay? And then here, boop, boop, just a couple little lines, okay, for a little furry chest. All right, so far so good. Now I want to pretend that that arm is coming all the way around the back and then grabbing onto this tree. So I'm going to do a line like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just leave those there. Okay, that's all I'm doing there. All right, now I've got something to measure against. I can see how big the tree is. I can see how big the koala is, right? And I think I want to bring this curvilinear line all the way down to somewhere like here. All right, so I'll make myself a little mark right there. Now, what is that distance? Well, one way to look at it is if I go from the head to the elbow of the koala, right? That's a pretty far distance. Is that the same as this distance here? No, it's longer. I try and find an area of my drawing that's about the same length. I know. I think the distance from here, this part of the body, up to the top of the head feels like about the same distance. So I look at that and I say, okay, that's about where I'm aiming. If it's a little lower or a little higher, no worries, all right? And now I'm just gonna pop out and in, like so. That's all there is to it. Out and in. So I've made a connection there, okay? And now watch this. I'm gonna do another C curve. It's gonna start about here and it's gonna come up and over like that. Didn't make it all the way down here, didn't make it all the way over there, okay? And then I'm gonna come up and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and just leave that there. And there's our little back foot. Now for the texture on the tree, watch this. Line, 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 a couple lines here and there. And that's it, that's the bark of the tree. If you want to, maybe you could put one little growth over here, okay? Like there's a new growth for the spring coming off of that stump, right? That's one thing you could do. Maybe put another leaf right there. Right, why not, why not? Okay, now for the koala, look at this. A few little lines here and there, a few little lines here and there. Perfect little textures. And just for giggles, let's do this. Whoop, hello. Happy little eyebrows on that koala. Why not, right? Put a few lines there. And now it's up to you to make this drawing your own. There's so many things you can do to make this your own. Of course, coloring your drawings is always a fun option. But if not coloring them, you can always put them in a cool environment or maybe in an unexpected, strange environment that you wouldn't expect for a koala bear, right? Like maybe the koala bear has gone to watch a Major League Baseball game or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure you'll come up with something more creative than that. Maybe he's the director of a cruise ship. But let's take our koala friend and slide him on over because I want to do a who made that. So I'll hide him for a minute. Don't worry, he'll come back. See you later. And let's take a look at this image together. Now, a lot of you are going to say, hey, I know that. It's just going to pop out at you, and that's great. But some of you won't recognize it, and I'm really excited about talking about this artist today, one of my absolute favorites. So take a look at this and tell me, who made that? It's a simple question. Who made that? And I'll look for your answers in the chat. Meanwhile, I hope that your koalas turned out well. I hope you can look at those and then you can remember the steps, or you can always go back and watch these anytime you like. They're all archived at behance.net/live/students. That's a mouthful. Or you can go to YouTube and just search for Draw Along with Kyle, and you'll find all these videos to watch back whenever you like. So you could draw a whole family of koalas if you want, no problem. All right, so question is, who made that? Hey, Twee, nice to see you. Twee says, Beatrix Potter, A+. There you go. Hi, Dama, or Dama. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Yes, that's very, very good. Beatrix Potter. Well, that was simple, wasn't it? We got the answer right away. Why don't we look at the entire image so we can get a real look at this. Beautiful ink and watercolor piece by Beatrix Potter. Now, picture books, picture book art. Sometimes people don't take it very seriously. They don't think about it as being a really great art form. But of course, the artists, many of them who do the work in picture books are really, really excellent artists and very well trained with amazing skills. And Beatrix Potter is no exception. She was born in England, and you can see 1866, died in 1943, so she was 77 years old. I'm getting my math right. And Beatrix Potter grew up with a governess, or several governesses actually, teaching her at home, which was not that uncommon at the time. And in the school room that they had on their property, they kept small animals that she would draw all the time. They had even bats, they had some mice, and they had some rabbits. And she would go in and she would draw these animals. They even had a hedgehog, I believe. And she would draw these animals all the time, and she got so good at drawing animals. And she fell in love with nature because she was surrounded by it and would go out a lot with her brother and explore. And when she got a little older, she was doing illustrations for scientific purposes, a lot of floral pieces, so things having to do with flowers and a lot of vegetation, a lot of studies of plants. But one of her governesses, who had some children, she would send them letters just to say hello and to see what was going on. And there was one story that she wrote in a letter because she had run out of things to say, basically, about what was going on in her life or whatever. And she decided to get creative, and she just made up a story about Peter Rabbit. And the story of Peter Rabbit, of course, with Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and the other one, I can't remember all the 4 bunnies' names. I guess Peter's the 4th, right? She made this story up and wrote it in a letter. And everyone said, wow, that's such a great story. You know, you should do something with that. And so she self-published it, which means she just made a little book for herself, and she gave it to friends and family, and they all loved it. And somehow it got in the hands of somebody who actually was working in a publishing house, and they said, you know, I think this could sell. And they asked her to please color the illustrations. She had just done them with the pen and ink. And so she did the watercolor. Now, if you look at this, this is really, she's an accomplished watercolorist. And because of all the work she had done with plants and the scientific illustrations, she had great brush control, great sense of color. And this is just a charming illustration. But also, if you look carefully, it's really quite a great composition. She really knew what she was doing. So fantastic work. Anyway, Tale of Peter Rabbit was a huge success. And so there were other stories that followed, Squirrel Nutkin and so on. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with these stories. And if not, if you want to just look at some really cute illustrations of animals, I would recommend the Beatrix Potter Tale of Peter Rabbit and some of the other tales that she wrote. They're really, really lovely. And she adds so much personality to these animals. So that was who made that. So while you're admiring this painting by Beatrix Potter, why don't we do a animal and activity, which means I need to look in the chat for your suggestions. So you tell me an animal doing an activity, all right? Now, this could be, for example, a hippo playing golf. You know what I mean? Something unexpected, something a little funny, something a little silly. That's what makes this game fun for me and fun for you. And you get to get involved. This is an interactive thing, so I'll look in the chat. Please send me your suggestion, and I will pick one of them, and I will draw it for you in the time that remains, which is not very long. So I'll do my best. All right, so that was Beatrix Potter. What a fantastic storyteller and artist. There you go. What else is there to say? She's a marvel. All right, bye-bye. Let's put our little koala bear friend there. Hi, Koala. All right, Koala's going to get some company because we're going to do a little animal and activity drawing here next to the koala bear. All right, a bunny doing the tango, says Twee. A bunny doing the tango, or 2. Twee, I think you've done a tango suggestion numerous times now. I probably need to do that drawing soon because the tango thing is really coming up a lot. The challenge for me would be how to figure out how to get the tango-ness in the drawing. Like, how do I make it look like they're doing the tango and not swing, or the salsa, or the rumba, or foxtrot? A moose drinking a beer next to a hunter's head. Gruesome, Stephen, gruesome, but interesting. Hedgehog flight attendant serving coffee. Darn it, I forgot to look up how to draw hedgehogs. I promised you all I was going to do that, and I didn't. That'll be my weekend homework. I gotta figure out how to draw a hedgehog. I get so many hedgehog requests. All right, let's see. Should I do... I could try and fake a hedgehog, but that makes me nervous. I don't want to do that. The moose drinking a beer is kind of fun. I also am not sure I know how to draw a moose, but I could probably figure that out. A hippo skydiving, says Miguel. A hippo skydiving, that's a really funny idea. Wearing that suit. Donna says, thanks, can you send me the link? Sorry, that must be another comment. I must have missed that. All right, from these suggestions, I'm scared to draw a hedgehog because I don't believe that I have the skills to do that. However, John, hold on to that one, please, because I will do my homework. For now, I think the hippo skydiving is something I could manage. And now Catherine's saying a rabbit skydiving. We have lots of skydiving going on here. Well, the clock is ticking, so I'm gonna have to do this. I think I'll do the hippo skydiving, and wish me luck. Here we go. As usual, start with a sketch, right? So here we go. Hippo. And there we go. There's that big nose. Now, my son did a project about hippos back in the day, 2nd grade, I believe, where he learned all about them, and apparently they are nasty animals. Just mean and nasty, really territorial, just awful. And I was so sad to learn that because I just think they look fun, but boy, was I wrong. They are not very nice. All right, so there's our hippo head, right? Now the body can be coming out from the back, arms out, legs out. Actually, I might angle the body more, so I might make that one arm out this way, like those action movies where they're always like sort of flying downward. There's another arm out that way. Okay, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. And let's get that other. I want to have that ear actually overlap the body. So then get the legs bent up and out this way. Maybe the other leg's out that way. Woo, there's one foot. And there's the other foot. And they've got, I've got to have, remember that backpack. They always wear a backpack with the parachute in it, right? So I got to pop that up there. And I guess I got to make that go up and over like that. All right, and some clouds. So we have some context and we know what's going on. Alrighty, I think that's pretty good. Now, let's get to the line work. So we knock this back a little bit. Make a selection there and hide this. Knock it back. It's a little lighter, and here we go on top. Wish me luck, folks. See what I can do with this hippo. Now, the cool thing about drawing is you can make anything happen. Anything that's absolutely ridiculous, right? It does not matter. Use your imagination, have fun. Nothing has to be realistic because it's a drawing, right? You can make them as silly as you want, and that is what I love about this. Make them as silly as you want. There's one big nostril right there. Oop. There's the other one. And here's that hippo mouth. Come all the way around that way. Happy, happy hippo. And now we've got to wear that coat, those puffy coats they wear. Folks, one thing I will not do in my lifetime, I've decided this a long time ago, is skydive. No interest, zero interest. Good luck to all of you who want to do it. That's fine. It's just not my thing. Not going to happen. I'll tell you that right now. It's not for me. Everyone knows their limits, and one of my limits is jumping out of a plane miles and miles above the ground, hoping that the parachute will work. That's just not my idea of a good time. But to each their own, right? All right, there's one leg out there. Oh, skydiving boot. I have no idea what they look like, but another great thing about drawing, you know, just invent it. Whoops, just make it close. Approximate. Most of the time, people aren't going to jump all over you and say, hey, wait a second now. That doesn't look like the standard issue parachute model 4634 that they use for skydiving these days, you know. And if someone does want to make a comment like that, you could say, hey, why don't you try and draw it then? Pal. Oh my goodness, look at this skydiving hippo. Crazy. There's a bird over here, right? Let's hide that sketch. And let's see how we're doing. What do you think, gang? Did we get it? All right, come here, you. Let's move this hippo over here. And we got to do those action lines saying this hippo is flying through the air. Woo! Actually, I don't like that one. Ooh, look how picky I am with just a minute remaining. Alrighty, once again, another great suggestion from you all. You always have the best suggestions, and I love that. So thank you very much. Folks, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you do some drawing this weekend if you can squeeze it in. Everybody, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, be safe, be smart, and above all, be kind to one another. That's very important, all right? And I'll see you next week. Take care.